Hello and welcome. My name is Cassidy Cash, and this is the channel where we go behind the curtain and into the real life and history of William Shakespeare. This week, we're going to take a look at one of the recipes from a man named Hugh Plat. Now, you have heard of Hugh Plat here on our show before because we did another of his recipes, turning ink into different colors, and you can go and check that out at the link below. This book was published in the 1600s. Hugh Plat lived from 1552 until 1608, and this particular version is available on the Internet Archive. I'll link you to this. It is a public domain book. It is from right within Shakespeare's lifetime, and it's just full of these household, everyday, random things that you might like to know how to do. And like if you look at the table of contents, which it's always amazing to me that books this old have things like table of contents, but at the front, he does walk you through a whole bunch of different, here's what you can find in this book, and it includes things like how to make bait to catch fish with, how to draw a fish into a trammel. It's how to gather wasps. No idea why you would want to gather wasps, but he has a recipe for how to do that, as well as how to an appearance of strange forms in glass. No idea what that one is. Anyway, you can take a look at all of his interesting recipes, but today we're going to try one where he says, if you follow his recipe, you can make an egg stand by itself. So let's get started. One thing about the table of contents at the beginning, if you decide to try any of these at home yourself, is it's labeled by the item number, not necessarily the page number. So every single item is the number of the next recipe. But when he's writing it, if the recipe fits on to a page, like if you could fit more than one recipe onto a single page, it's still labeled by the number. So this actually appears on page 44 of the book, but it is recipe number 46. Should that information be helpful to you. So here is what he says. To make an egg to stand upon an end without any help at all. Again, no idea why you would want to do this, but here we go. There is an old tale of a good workman who made an egg to stand in salt upon an end. But here the fame is more artly performed, and yet without any such supportation. So he's letting you know that someone else wrote a book that claimed to tell you how to do this by setting the egg in salt, but he's going to show you a way that you can do it without any support at all. And apparently that is super cool for the 16th century. Hold an egg in your right hand, and with your fist, give it 3 or 4 good strong blows upon your left arm, or use any other device by agitation or shaking until you have broken the yolk and so made the white to mingle confusedly with it. And then it will presently stand on the broad end of an even table. It should seem that before the breaking of the yolk did hang playing or tottering within the white, whereby the egg could not be made to stand speedily without this device. And yet I heard a gentleman, whom I dare believe in a greater matter than this, affirm that he hath divers times caused an egg to stand alone by piecing it to and fro between his hands, till in the end it stood upright without any other help. But the first is the readier way. Thank you, Hugh. So he leaves a lot of questions here, like, first of all, why would you want to make an egg stand by itself? He also doesn't answer what kind of egg. I'm going to assume he's talking about a chicken egg because I believe chicken eggs were the most common in England at this time, but it could have been any kind of egg. So, duck egg, goose egg, there's no indication of which one you're supposed to use. We're going to use a chicken egg for today. Also, just a few tidbits of history here. When you're reading his book, the tall letters that look a lot like a treble clef somebody didn't finish is actually the letter S. So when you're reading through these and you're like, I can't read this, the language is difficult, that will help you a whole lot. So like in the word presently, it looks like presently. The S definitely looks like an F, but it's not. It's an S. So when you're reading through there, you'll see that several times. That's what that is. So he says to take an egg and shake it. Now, okay, so if you shine a light on here, you can see that there's a yolk and there's white inside. So apparently the idea is we're supposed to shake this in any, he says you can take it in your right hand and shake it, but I'm really afraid I'm going to bust the egg doing that. So I'm going to take his advice where he says use any other device by agitation or shaking. So we're going to try and shake the egg. And you can feel the egg yolk inside here, but I didn't know it would bust. Like I thought, I'm trying to see if I can feel any difference. So I'm just shaking the egg, he says, speedily until you have broken the yolk and so made the white to mingle confusedly with it, and then it will presently stand on the broad end on an even table. So I'm at my desk. Once I get it shook up, I'm going to try and stand it on my even table. Oh, that's wild. Like you can hear the yolk bouncing around inside the egg. And it like, I can't tell if we busted it or not, but the bouncy sound definitely sounds different, which is another thing, Hugh. He doesn't tell us how to know when we've busted it. Don't squeeze it, obviously. Well, done something. Okay. I think we've mingled it together. Let's give it a try. Let's try and stand it on its end. Woo! Well, it didn't work. Maybe I didn't shake it enough. I'm going to end up with egg all over my office. Okay, let's try again. That's definitely not working. Okay, let's try one more time. I did it on my arm. I don't know what this might do. Why would you want to do this? I am really at this point, like, why? Why is this something he wanted people to figure out how to do? And breaking a sweat, trying to shake up an egg. Okay, maybe my desk is just too slippery. Let's try the mouse pad. It doesn't appear to be working. I'm gonna go give the egg some serious shaking and come back and try it one last time. One last time. Definitely hurts. Oh my gosh, it worked. Look at that. It's standing up by itself. Oh my gosh. It worked. It's standing up by itself. Oh my goodness. I was totally about to give up on this experiment, but after lots and lots and lots of shaking, The egg stands up, and y'all, it has been standing on the broad end for a full minute now. It's totally, it works. Now, again, I have no idea why you would want to make your egg stand on end unless perhaps it's decoration or something, but there you go. It does work. Who knew? Okay, so who knew? 16th century recipe for how to make an egg stand on end. It's a workout for your arms for sure, but hey, get your cardio in and try out some history. Let me know in the comments if you try it at home, and be sure to share a picture of your egg standing upright. That's it for this week. I'm Cassidy Cash, and I hope you learned something new about the Bard. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.